the arena.
They're off.
Please enter the arena. Please enter the arena.
Please enter the arena.
Please enter the arena.
There we go. We have two of the finest analysts.
We have two contenders. It is a Jenkins Dota and Lacoste Dota. Please now, this is not the arena. Please go into the arena. Get in the arena.
There we go.
3, 2, 1, fight!
All right, so strong lead from Jenkins. He's been a bit more enthusiastic. Lacoste really isn't trying.
Lacoste is dead.
Wait,
Lacoste, he just died.
Wait, what?
He's dead.
That was it?
Go cast, Jenkins. Go cast Dota 2.
Congratulations.
Jenkins and Sunsfan for game number 1.
Wow. I'm not gonna. That was a good effort, gentlemen. I think we're missing the death animation there. Not sure if that's a bug. Maybe still in beta.
That was not how that was planned.
Yeah, you didn't even realize that was the fighting arena.
No.
Well done, Jenkins.
I wasn't told. I'm never told.
All right. Well, Sunsfan here with Jenkins for this game 1 of a best of 5 between T1 and VP. Both teams have looked very good. This, of course, is a rematch, as VP did win the previous series in the upper bracket finals 2-1, but all 3 games for the most part could have gone either way. These teams are definitely evenly matched.
You are correct, Sunman. It seems like both of these teams have excellent late game decision making. They can change up what they're doing as the game is going. They're really good at figuring things out. They're not just one-trick ponies that do one style. As you can see, T1, look at this draft. This looks like an alliance draft to me. Magnus, Wyvern opener.
Yeah.
It's either
with the Empower.
Yeah. It's either respect or disrespect.
The battle begins.
Maybe a bit of both.
We'll find out in the post-game interview if they do end up winning here. As it's like T1 are able to get 3 out of 4, if I'm not mistaken. That last one. So not too bad start for T1.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, let's talk about these lineups, because obviously the Doom, TA, Kunkka we saw from DM. He played a literally the best Kunkka game I've ever seen for that kind of a build. And we see a support Silencer. Talk to me about this hero, Jenkins.
It makes sense against the Magnus plus the Winter Wyvern opening. You have 2 heroes who are heavily reliant on bursting people with those 2 ultimates. And Silencer is just about the biggest buzzkill hero in the game for that. But I agree with what the panel was saying, that maybe a bit of what has made this hero fall off is the amount of good dispels for the global silence.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, even neutral items are giving dispels these days, so that is definitely, I mean, yeah, that, I never thought about that, but I mean, this hero isn't picked. Do you think that's the main reason towards it?
Maybe not the main reason. Another problem is the laning is a little bit weak, but you know, when you're playing with a Magnus on the enemy team and a Doom in the safe lane, then the lane's always going to be a little bit weird, so it does feel like a decent game for it.
I'm guessing that they picked her game.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of people in pubs try to figure out what exactly they can do with PA to make it work. And Echo Saber was a pickup. I've seen a couple of Diffusal Blades. But with the Magnus, you can just go for the regular build minus the Battle Fury, just rushing into a Deso and find a Carl.
Has to pop the Fairy Fire. The Side Blade didn't connect that time around. And this is another lane we have yet to talk about that's very interesting. It's GPK on the TA, of course, which isn't uncommon at all. But versus Venomancer, who can just take off that refraction super fast. You see some action here. Torrent's going to miss. Whitemon sidestepping it, but there's a Blink Strike. DM with the right clicks to follow. Save. Looks like he's going to be first blooded, so T1 gets the better of this exchange.
He's kind of the only person that can die in this lane very consistently. And with the level 2 on Kunkka, there's no X mark.
First couple days were not great, but then after that,
they figured it out.
We're off. But talk to me about the Venomancer. As I mean, yeah, I brought up the refraction. What else is there to this hero that makes it?
Veno can take over TA's jungle. That's something. You've got the flag wards, and that's some of the best area control in the game, if not the best area control in the entire game. And so you can go into the TA's jungle, take up the Ancients, but you do need a supporting cast behind you. Veno can't do that alone. So these other side lanes need to go quite well to happen.
See Kingslayer just harassing the absolute crap out of Cuckoo, and Glaives of Wisdom are super annoying. The fact that you can steal some int without having to get a kill these days is temporary.
Not one of your shticks.
No, it's just mana drain from Lion specifically.
I see. You just hate Lion. I mean, that's
I mean, look at Lion's face. He is the literal ugliest hero in the entire freaking game. He's so ugly, they've had to make so many different cosmetics of different color just to hide how ugly he has become.
And to be frank, they're quite horrible.
Yes, indeed. As we can see, the skewer onto Kingslayer, slowed up with that Arctic Burn as well. Cuckoo continue the chase, but in the trees, Kingslayer. Yep, Shockwave is there to finish him off, and Nightfall not there in time, although
Nice little
he'll be able
punish.
to do much anyway.
T1 recognized Nightfall was walking away to go get a creep, picks up the Toughness Aura. Lots of armor from this Doom now because of that 5 armor that he now has to work with that level 1.
Yeah.
Very nice buff.
Incredible that when that happened, he just picked all the time after not being picked for so long. But when you play position 1, as we're going to see, oh my, the Earthspike was there just to cancel the Tornado. Save is taking heavy damage, though, as the chicken is actually going to fall before being able to kill off the Leon.
Bit of a bait. He did have the salve, so he could have survived one more hit there. Good discipline from Whitemon not going in.
I mean, I'm really curious to see if DM goes for the same build he did in the series that we cast, because that was absolutely epic. That was... He went shard like right away, right?
Yeah.
I remember what the actual buildup was. Going for Urn this time around.
Pipe shard, I he went for.
Yeah.
But he has the Urn this time, so really valuing that extra bit of damage. And a
for sure.
regen stats.
Kingslayer. I mean, look at this damage to Zephyr. Zephyr really can't do anything about it. Nice miss there, though. Definitely planned that one.
Laning against the Silencer in terms of harass is a big pain. The problem with Silencer is the fact that he's so squishy, he can feed. But in a situation like that, where you're 1v1 trading with a support, it feels really good to be Silencer.
Back to the position 1 Doom. Is there, I mean, you build any differently on this hero? Is it the same kind of build? You just get it faster?
No, I think the concept of this Doom late game taking 2 heroes out of sight.
Oh, the X is a little bit too slow, as it's actually 23 Savage not even getting the kill, but also getting X back into the range of these creeps a little bit faster.
Is this the first time we've seen DM Kunkka lose a lane? I think it is.
31-5 for 23 Savage and 26-2 for DM. I mean, he's not doing terribly.
He's not getting dumpstered, but usually VP plays off of a completely snowballing offlane Kunkka.
That's true. Yeah, that's the first time in memory at least, but it is against T1, of course, so their laning is nothing to scoff at for sure.
They did get dumpstered by the Kunkka, so they have
Phantom Strike is there with the Enchanta slow. Torrent will connect, but DM is in quite a bit of trouble here. No reinforcements on the way. This is going to be yet another kill, this time to 23 Savage on the very important DM that we've been praising thus far. Save. Looks like he might get the courier. Indeed, Earthspike only going to connect on a creep, though. Be just trying to dance his way out of here. That disgusting face of his. Not save, the Lion specifically.
Whitemon has Enchant up soon. Nice double stun.
He is more than fine, and the slow comes out into Zephyr as well as GPK, able to secure himself an Illusion Rune. So at what point does the Venom start bothering the TA? Because so far, he's doing just fine.
It does look like he's doing just fine. The traps are a problem. The Sentry Ward coming out from Carl is definitely something that is much needed. GBK is doing a really good job at keeping his distance, so Carl's not able to gale him, but you have to be careful because this isn't one of those lanes that TA wins, or that Vena wins by just farming. You kill the TA. And so it's all about getting a gale when the TA walks up a little too far.
Nightfall gonna get the Scorched Earth off. Have the Doom available as well. Can they actually chase him down, though, is the question. He's going to go into the trees. We have some TPs coming in, trying to juke around. We see the Gale into the Poison Nova. Nightfall is just going to TP out, and the deny is there from Carl. So, in essence, nobody really does.
Favoring VP slightly because they force out the mid laner rotation. Maybe favoring them heavily if they get a decent chunk of damage on this mid tower. It's very important.
Does have that Blightstone to help him out.
We've seen a lot of TAs do that throughout the major, where the enemy mid laner leaves and then they just dumpster the tower.
Save getting caught out here. The Gale has nowhere to go, but GPK trying to get the return kill at the very least, but he gets skewered back into the tier 2 RP as well. Still has that refraction up, but finally tries to attempt the TP out and will be successful. Actually, to the tier 1 mid, because he has a full bottle to work with. Oh, and a trusty shovel. How nice.
Bad, not bad. Nice TP in from Cuckoo, of course, with that bot lane death.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh my.
Oh, okay.
That is definitely the rune to
Yeah.
get.
Not so bad.
I mean, that kobold is the end of me, personally.
That thing's the worst. Walking around with tranquil boots, it spawns, punches you. It's like, I'm only killing you out of spite.
Yeah.
And you're not even worth the gold
This is true.
killing you. People just leave it. They don't bother.
GPK at half HP, so he does have to be a bit careful here as the tomatoes are going to be harassing him a bit as we're seeing
Here
the
we go.
impact move of the shovel. Yes.
Oh, that was such
Look at
a
this
sick play.
efficiency. Oh, he bottled a little bit too quick there,
Yeah,
to be
that's
fair.
a bit.
Not fully efficient there on GPK, but that's okay.
A little bit of nerves getting to GPK here, it looks like.
Yeah, definitely the nerves. I believe the tomato was running at him, so
That's
it is
gotta
quite
be
a
something.
scary sight,
Yeah.
for sure.
You don't expect to see that.
All right, but T1, I mean, this is against a Doombringer, so the fact that they're only up, I mean, they're up technically is a good sign for them to start this game out.
Goes both ways, though. We have Magnus plus PA on one side, and then on the other side we have a Doom. So both lineups are kind of supposed to outfarm the other, and it cancels out.
Fair enough, fair enough. 23 Savage is just going for straight Desolator after he picked up those treads, so
Radiant's top tower
that's
is
pretty
under
cool to
attack.
see. And as we see a Hex in the bot lane, three-man gank from VP will be successful onto Zephyr.
Dire's top tower is
So,
under attack.
in this instance where you're given essentially this farm from the Empower onto the PA, Deso, BKB, and then do you fight? Because typically in the old days, as of 2 months ago, it would be Battle Fury, Deso, BKB, then you fight.
I think with just the Deso you can probably fight.
Okay.
Because you have these other heroes to set up for you and protect you. It's
Dire's
very
top
difficult to
tower
fight
is under
into a
attack.
Winter Wyvern Curse and a Magnus RP. At the very least, you can use these to protect your carry. Just literal AoE stuns. Worst case, you use them and the carry jumps away.
All right, well, Nightfall picked up his Midas. He is hot net worth and doing very well.
Double damage.
Already used his Doom, which,
Tower
you know,
is
one of
under
those
attack.
things where sometimes you're sitting on this spell for a really long time, but got a pretty good use out of it thus far. Night Slayer still only level 4, so no global silence to come, although I'm not sure who took the home on their team. Might have been Whitemon, or maybe they're still delivering it, not sure. Either way, what kind of impact is the global silence going to have this game? Because do you have to itemize to try to get like a Lotus Orb or a Greaves or something like that to be able to work around it?
Not necessarily. I think one problem with picking Silencer into Magnus is that, yes, Magnus is based pretty hugely on winning team fights with RP. That is a factor. But also, you hit creeps, you farm stacks. Veno's the same thing. You can control areas of the map with the wards and get farm that other heroes couldn't get. So T1 is perfectly fine with farming and just ignoring the global by virtue of not fighting. You just, if the global never gets used, it's not a problem.
And you can see Carl
Dire's top tower is
going for
under
the
attack.
Invoker build. Round Boots, Spirit Vessel, and now Midas next. So we are seeing like a huge resurgence, I feel like, in Hand of Midas in the last 3 weeks, I want to say, that it was just not built on basically any hero. Maybe Doom and Invoker are the only two, but now we're just seeing it almost every game from these.
I really wanted to ask in the interview T1 about their Midas, like when they think Midas is good, because like you said, you
Radiant's courier
don't see it.
has been
It's
killed.
only like late into the
Dire's
major that
middle
we started
tower
seeing
is
it.
under attack.
But unfortunately, or fortunately, Whitemon was the interviewee, so he's a support player. I'm sure he's just like, God damn my cores, why are they buying Midases every game? I didn't want to, spark any.
I forget, was
Past
it
trauma.
T1 or VP that had 2 Midases, and we were talking about how they had to just kind of delay because they were against kind of a push lineup, and then they ended up just winning with the Midases shortly after.
Yeah, that was VP.
Radiant's
That-
middle tower
I
is
literally
under
don't even
attack.
understand the concept here. So we're going to see the Earth Spike into the boat and the death again for Mr. Zephyr himself. So 1K net worth lead here for VP, as obviously Doom is carrying the load here.
Here's
Dire's
my
top
theory on the
tower
Midas,
is
and keep
under
in mind,
attack.
I'm an idiot.
Okay,
Dire's
yeah, well, you know that.
structures
So-
are fortified.
It's hard to push
Radiant's
towers because
bottom
of
tower is under
TPs. They're
attack.
huge now, right? You can TP in a long distance in any of these trees. You cannot just Quelling Blade trees down and prevent TP
Radiant
locations now.
are
So
scanning.
that's one thing. Pushing is hard. And
Dire's
then
middle
number
tower
2,
is under
there's all of
attack.
these little tree paths to hide in now. So juking around the map and delaying the game is much easier than it was before. Before, if you split pushed, you would die. And these days, if you
Dire
think that
are
your team is
scanning.
good at hiding and being annoying. And T1, these are the guys building Midas. This is exactly what we see their supports doing every game, just sitting in trees, feeding or TPing out at low HP. And so I think that lends itself to playing this kind of delayed, there's a timer on you because we have Midas's style, because you think you can delay the game for long enough that the Midas is coming to play. That's at least my theory on it.
So what you're saying is Hand of Midas recipe will be increased by another 100 gold.
Possibly. I don't think this sort of thing would work in pubs, though. I think you need a full lineup that is committed to...
By the way, after all this talk, he's changed his mind. I think he might be listening in. He's like, you know what? I'm sick and tired of them talking about Hand of Midas. Let's just go for a heal set.
It's more like if Sunsfan and Jenkins are saying that this is it's gotta be complete garbage.
I never said it was good. I'm just interested that people are buying.
You're pretending to be interested. In
no, Hand of Midas is an interesting item. I'm not making that up. As Nightfall has his Blink Dagger now, and you can see that VP is smoking on a couple member here. Carl will be a very big kill if they want to go for him. They can see the courier is on its way. Nightfall jumps in. Carl, there's the Doom coming on, but it's going to cost him the Poison Nova. The Finger is there to finish him off as well, as Nightfall is going to get RP'd in turn. Kuku finds that kill himself, so it's a 1-for-1 with Save being the second now in favor of T1. So a really good turnaround with these TPs.
I'm realizing that this was a really great Veno pick for more reasons than just the fact that it counters TA. Of course, you also have the Kunkka, which the Veno counters because the boat wears off eventually, and then all of the Veno dots will kill the target. But also, if you Doom Veno and he gets all of his abilities off, the Doom was wasted. So it seems really good to just put the Veno in front and have him be the Doom target.
Dire's bottom tower is under
Global
attack.
Silence was used in that fight, which to go back and see if that was actually a little bit too early or not. But I mean, T1 ends up on top in terms of the trades there overall. But still, very even game as expected between these two juggernaut teams. I mean, if I was picking, I know this is a little biased because we just watched the animation and whatnot, but top 4 teams in the world, these two would be in them. And VP is the only one that's like the question mark just because of the LAN performances.
Yeah, I agree.
But when you see them play online, it's just night and day from what we saw at the major itself.
There seems to be a correlation between teams that have a lot of fun, that are high rank, and winning. People that have fun are good.
That's not always true. I mean, EG at TI5, that was a miserable group.
That's true. I can confirm that.
I think everybody can confirm that's pretty obvious from afar. That Zephyr still in the trees here, Save, trying to wrap around. Yep, there we go. The Hex. Earth Spike to follow with the Urn. And the Shark is coming. This will be an eventual kill onto Zephyr again, which, again, he's been kind of doing this thing on the Winter Wyvern, just trying to create space. You talked about the idea of just hanging around in the trees, delaying the push, and
classic Zephyr.
That's what he's doing.
He expects this sort of thing at that point, and I think T1 does as well. But it's something you have to do if you're VP. You can't let a support sit there and counter push and delay. They're basically putting the onus on you to dive them to get that tower. So VP, they do it.
As DM looks to be, I thought he was finishing the Spear Vessel. Maybe it's on the way right now, but either way, he's going for the pipe next. Maybe the Spear Vessel's...
Yeah, there it is.
Okay, yeah, figured that much.
Casual Hood against the Veno. This does make sense.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that just the healing over time, as well as the magic resistance, is enough often to survive through all of the Veno spells.
Yeah, I just hope to God that he goes again for that shard, because that's going to be very, very entertaining. GPK with so much damage right here. See the X marks? No point in using it, probably. Yeah, this is going to be a freebie with the Finger of Death charge. Double kill for DM, and we'll see if they can turn this into a Roche, potentially. Dessa now onto GPK. This 5v3 situation, I mean, this is the beauty of having a Venomancer. You can always put these wards to at least get some vision in the pit. X marks onto Carl, though. Of course, VP know they have the numbers advantage right here. Nice Yules dodging a little bit there, but the boat is coming. Will connect. The follow. Yep. Nightfall jumps in, takes the Poison Nova. Basically just to him. He's going to try to TP out, but there's the curse to cancel it. Falls in a lot of trouble here. He's getting beat on by his friend.
Where are you going?
Of course, that Poison Nova is still applied. Oh, he's going to tick out. I guess that was the Poison Sting on top of it. And Zephyr now getting chased. Look at the damage. Trying to get the side blades, but not going to be in range here. And T1 still delaying pretty successfully. And now with Nightfall down,
Come on,
see if VP actually want to continue on here. X marks onto Whitemon, but yeah, no follow-up here. So T1 successfully defend Roche. Did cost them a couple lives, but they'll take it.
The Spear Vessel on DM is a real
Radiant's
problem for
bottom
T1 right
tower
now.
is under
They
attack.
can't just run a hero in and save them with the Winter Wyvern, which is what most people have been doing to start their fights. They can't even run Whitemon in on Enchantress. You can see
Radiant's
how
bottom
little the
tower
healing
is
did
under
there.
attack.
And if any other damage sources come out, I think Whitemon just dies. He's so squishy at this point, other than the heal.
Save has a blink, by the way. 18-minute blink on Lion. That seems pretty fast.
Yeah, that's very fast.
Going for Ghost up next. So they're going to have that blink Hex. I mean, they have pretty good initiation overall, and obviously really good catch. And that's on top of the global silence potential, which we've seen a couple times, but maybe hasn't had the biggest impact yet. But still pretty early on.
The global?
Yeah.
It's hard to see the impact of it.
That's what I'm saying. It's difficult to see.
Because nothing happens, literally.
There's no sound either, you know?
That's true. You
It
can't hear the
silences
impact
everybody.
of it.
Yeah, as we can see, the
Radiant's
typical
middle
build
tower is
here
under attack.
from Zephyr.
Dire's top tower
As
is
that
under
Holy
attack.
Locket, we'll be getting the Cold Embrace heal at level 10 in all likelihood. There's a nice extra goal from this Philosopher's Stone as well.
23
Here,
out
that
of DK.
continues not to get banned. One tower just going to be given up here. It looks like Torrent's going to connect, but no follow-up. T1. The RP gonna catch DM, skewers into the other side here. Gonna get Gale on top of that, and it looks like VP just wanna let him go. Boat comes out, but not a whole lot of damage done here. T1, get the free pickoff. Well, free. Nothing's free in life, Jenkins. I don't know if anybody ever told you that, but
I've never heard that before.
it costs a Magnus ult.
Yeah.
There's always a cost.
It's always Lacoste.
That's right.
He is at every event. That's
Yeah.
maybe it was
Warranted, though.
Somebody was mentioning on the panel that Magnus is a counter to these disengage spell or these kind of big team fight ultis and these disengage spells because you skewer people so far away that nothing can be pressed on the person that gets gone on. And it's cool. We see it there. The RP into skewer out. It's like even if VP was in position, they can't save the skewer target. They're too far away. Their formation is broken immediately by that. These repositioning abilities have been so strong for this reason in the past, and this is exactly why Pudge is really strong right now.
Wow, I was wondering where you were going for that, so I appreciate that very much.
I'm just gonna please Ice Frog buff my boy.
He's never going to get buffed again. But no, that's very true. I mean, the one thing is if there was global silence, you can't do that, right? Once the RP is off, you're just going to get global silence and you can't skewer anymore. But of course, they are itemizing to a degree. He's building a Yule's right now, which obviously not the most common item to find on the Magnus. But the spell is going to be ultra important here.
Carl's going for Greaves as well, so we're gonna have two types of Dispel on him. And the Greaves feels a lot better because you don't have to sit for 2.5 seconds doing nothing, which effectively is a disable whenever he globals. That's exactly what you want. You just have to disable people. Going for the Yules first just because it's cheaper and guaranteeing that there's going to be something to take it off, and then doubling back to the Greaves.
Yep, definitely a good choice. But still kind of a farm game right now. Not a ton of action. The first Roche was semi-attempted at first, and then it kind of got broken up with a couple kills on each respective side. I mean, who does this current pace of the game benefit the most, you think? Because there's Doom on one side, and then there's PA with the Empower on the other.
T1, I think that he's probably going to, on 23 Savage, eventually get a Rapier, and with that timing, there is going to be very little that VP can do.
Other got a 4-man smoke, a 3-man smoke here from VP. They want to defend this Roshan. DM's getting caught out for now. Spirit Vessel's applied to him. As the X. Oh, the instant Hex on a Cuckoo. Very nicely done as Whitemon's taking a ton of damage from afar. GPK doing work. Nightfall jumps in. You can see the global silence into the Doom, onto the Magnus. And that is going to be the first kill in this fight for VP. A big, big one. He does have buyback, though, so if they overextend, definitely get back into this fight.
That trap is just out of range of this Sentry Ward. So T1 doesn't realize, but VP, they know the exact status of Roshan as that's happening. There's no way they can get away with that. That's exactly why VP is smoking.
Yep, they have smoke. Of course, Global Silence and Doom are down, but they know that Magnus is dead for another 15 seconds, so perhaps they can get a pick off before He respawns. 23
Zephyr,
Savage.
really important kill.
Oh, Zephyr, yep. The instant hex into the disabled. The double stun. He actually jumps into it with the PA. 23 Savage pops the BKB though and blows up Sade with the coup de grace. Now he's just getting pounded in by TA. Jumps on the other side. We see a Winter's Curse delaying the fight, so 23 Savage can actually get some damage here. Poison Nova from Carl onto DM, who's now in the trees here, completely surrounded by the PA, getting pounded. A nice cold embrace, but there's the skewer into the double RP from Kuku. Shockwave to follow. Double kill on 23 Savage as T1 are masterful in these fights. 23 Savage might finally tick down, but it cost him the entirety of VP. And Roche is still at half HP, and despite not having the PA, see if they can finish it off themselves or have to wait for him in the end.
Under attack.
Bit of a false sense of security there from VP, having that information in the pit, knowing that they can do a smoke wraparound there, picking off Zephyr, but he has buyback, and then they're fighting right into that T1 ward, which lets 23
Radiant's mid
juke around this fight, even at low HP. They could never get him.
That was a nice impale.
It was. It was a really great start, but the insta-burst, as well as the BKB, there's nothing that goes through this, and TA does not have any evasion piercing right now, so...
Yeah, 23 Savage did such a good job of kind of going in and out and just being an annoying presence.
I like that he jumped to Carl as well, using Carl as kind of a backbone for this fight, where it's like, you know what? Oh, you're going to kill me, you're going to take all of Venomancer's spells as well. And then all of this just sets up, because they're so desperate to kill 23 for the beautiful two-man RP from Kuku.
CT1. Oh, for once they're not
they look
jovial.
They're
very serious, yeah.
That makes me a little worried for them.
They're taking this very seriously. It's the grand finals after all. All right, so they didn't wait, or they did wait for the PA. I guess they just have no damage, really, from a Roche perspective, despite it being at half HP. So now they're going to be in there.
Bro, this trap is still a real problem. It's right outside of 2 sentry wards.
Yeah. All right, well, the Torrent's going to connect on the Centaur as this is a very slow Roche without 23 Savage there. Which, again, like you said, the information's already there for VP. The status.
They don't need to rush anything because of the trap. This is so inconvenient. I don't think I've... It's really cool positioning from the trap. I mean, usually the sentry ward's a little bit closer to the pit, but because supports obviously don't want to get caught out of position, they just kind of put it as close as they can get.
Oh my goodness. All right, we have an Aghanim Scepter on 23 Savage, by the way.
Yeah, the usual build.
That's awesome.
The
you
usual
can take
build
off silence.
Oh,
Yep. Skewer back in, but the global silence to follow. 23 Savage jumps in. GPK is BKB though, so not a lot of damage done in the end. We see the tidal wave coming out as well. Our Spike's going to connect only onto one, and now the Force Staff keeping GPK healthy. Shockwave is there as well. Nightfall actually pops his BKB here. No death somehow. That might break the fight up here. The Torrent will connect. I mean, it's a basic dispel, but I guess you can't cast if you're global silence.
Because it is a spell.
You have to get Satanic for that, I guess, yeah. But that is such a cool act. We'll talk about that in just a moment, but I feel like this is very important, Roche, that both teams have spent so many resources trying to defend. Of course, T1 going back and forth. They still have not gotten this trap.
If only they knew that trap was there, VP would be so much more worried about Roshan because they wouldn't know the status of it. They have to go fight. But they know that if Roche is standing on that trap, the T1's not taking it.
That tidal wave. Oh, 23 Savage with a double damage now. That is pretty big.
Pretty dank with the Aghanim Scepter.
Absolutely.
Insta-burst.
There's no global silence for a bit here. So T1 should feel relatively safe. Another 45 seconds for that to come up. Tidal wave again coming. This is such an annoying spell. Of course, Boat has such a low cooldown. I can spend that basically any point. Oh, the Centaur start things out, and there's the BKB jumping from 23 Savage. The death of Kingslayer buys back into the game, though. And now the Boat coming in. Look at these side blades from GPK off of the Plague Wards, like you said earlier. They might be able to steal this. GPK now in the pit. Whitemon trying to get in there as well. Kuku misses the skewer, though. Roshan is snatched. GPK takes it for himself. 23 Savage now trying to get out. Gets Doom, but it's the Lotus Orb Doom. So there's 2 targets that can't do anything now. All right, Cold Embrace applied to 23 Savage. Now the Curse applied as well as TH is beating the crap. That's going to be a dieback onto Kingslayer. Now the chase is onto 23 Savage, but the Doom has finally run out. And now he's going to jump in and absolutely blow up everybody. GPK does get up the refraction. Finally, the Aegis is popped. Nightfall in the triangle. Looks like it's going to be 5, but GPK is completely surrounded. Double kill for 23 Savage. So VP, they get the Aegis. T1 gets the Roche, technically, and it was only Roche #1.
I love watching these two teams team fight.
It's crazy.
There's so much going on between the tidal waves, GPK hitting the Plague Wards, getting the pure damage, the Lotus Orb, the backline protection coming from T1. 23 Savage constantly playing on low HP. Can he actually get up? He's constantly playing on low HP. He's doomed, but he's playing around his team. Reeves are keeping him alive.
You're a trusty mate.
T1 is playing so together and
look
around
at
the
these side blades, dude. Oh my god. That must have been like max range.
23 is, and he still did so much in this fight.
Yeah.
Radiant's middle
Well,
tower
you get fully
is under
healed.
attack.
That does help a lot. Yes, that does help. Look at the tidal wave onto the high.
Yeah, actually
Two
pushed
heroes.
23 Savage out of the pit.
It separates him, but then the Lotus Orb Doom,
Yeah.
Cuckoo's in position, and then everybody's playing on the high ground on T1. They know if they just frontline with these two tanky heroes.
This cold face is so stupid. He's literally unkillable.
Radiant's
Finger of Death, they
bottom
put
tower is
2
under
different
attack.
ults on him here. Yeah, I don't know, man. It smells pretty busted right now. But either way, like, the execution from both sides is so crisp. Really a joy to watch both of these teams
It's
play.
gonna be so frustrating for either side to lose a team fight. It's like, oh Lord, what else could we have pressed? And I look at this as a Dota player and I think, I don't know. I really don't know.
Okay, well, 23 Savage, yeah, he's finding Kingslayer outside the Roche pit. You can see Saves in there as well. Blinks out the safety after the Earthspike comes out, but Kingslayer looks to be mega dead here.
Radiant's bottom tower
Okay,
is
so let's
under
talk about
attack.
this Aghanim Scepter. Well, first, Doom got an Ags himself. This is a really early one, so this will apply the break, which is huge against PA, obviously,
is under attack.
and also lasts for 6 seconds longer for the Doom. So if you get that, you win the fight pretty much every time, I feel like. And the fact that it disables the coup de grace as well, actually. So you, even right-clicking, like typically if you're one of these heroes that gets Doom, you can still right-click to some degree, but PA is literally useless now. That's a really good pickup.
The interesting thing about this Aghanim Scepter that 23 got is if he gets jumped by Doom, he's got that little bit of fade time where he can disjoint as Doom is casting it, and then he can blink away. So instead of going for something along the lines of a Lincoln Sphere, he's trusting that, oh, speaking of the Doom,
Dire's bottom tower is under
No vision.
attack. Dire's
They even see
structures
Nightfall?
are
they
fortified.
briefly saw him.
Okay.
It's a cool concept to...
Yeah,
kind
so
of
basically,
trusting-
Blur has a much lower cooldown. You can instantly cast it. It'll give you a basic Dispel, but of course you can't use Silence.
0.5 seconds of Vanish, which is enough to cast the Phantom Strike away, and enough for Cuckoo to also put the Lotus Orb on.
And then kind of the, well, I was going to say coup de grace, but that wouldn't really make sense. Well, we're going to have to hold that thought here. As Gale will connect on the Nightfall, has to pop his BKB pretty early. Ooh, Lotus Orb pumps the Doom, but there's the Winter's Curse. GPK is beating the absolute crap again out of him, but there's the Global Science to follow. Nightfall can't get off his Doom in time, ends up dropping, but there's the RP. It's only going to connect onto one, though. It's Kingslayer getting chased by 23 Savage. He now wants to focus on GPK with the Spirit Vessel applied right now. Arctic Burn as well, so no refraction for you. GPK gets Yules right outside his base. It looks like he's going to be brought down in the end. Triple kill for 23 Savage. He has entered beast mode. I mean, they played that against the Doom perfectly well. GG is called. Wow. Awesome game.
T1 is looking mega scary,
Radiant's
dude.
middle tower
Both teams.
is under attack.
Yeah. It's crazy